I made it. You see, because I could not have my other team members as co-hosts, unfortunately, we couldn't record. We'll just move on from there. Move on from there. So the opportunity, move from there. So what are the opportunities in palm oil? There's huge demand right now in every goods that is packaged worldwide, from food to cosmetics to biofuel and all of that. Palm oil is in 50% of all of those goods. So meaning that everybody is bringing goods to the UK. They are bringing Gary, they are bringing different goods. Take note, 50% of most of those goods is palm oil already. And if you ask me, most people will now say, oh, does that not mean that the market is saturated? I was said in one of my videos that that is an indication that there is market there. There's an opportunity there. Now, I also said that it may also be an indication that your profit margin will be low. However, there's an opportunity there. And Nigeria is currently a top producer. I think before now, it was under-exported. Even though I think right now, a lot of people are already exporting palm oil. Before now, it was under-exported. But regardless of the current rate of export, there's a high opportunity there. So currently, Nigeria produces millions of tons annually. Even with that, there is still a gap between demand and supply. And I know this because I currently even operate in the space within the Nigerian sector. There are organizations that need palm oil, for example, and most times, based on what they require, we are not even able to meet the need. Now, again, part of the opportunity is the fact that you don't need to farm to profit. I have never been to a palm oil farm in my life. Now, the person we are going to meet, he does it. He even have some kind of palm oil refinery. So he has been. But I have never been to a palm oil farm, and I have made money from palm oil. So you don't need to go to farm or to profit from it. The value is not in the farm, it's in the trade in itself. It's in the financing, it's in the logistics, it's in the distribution. So you must ask yourself, where do you want to play, or how many of the places do you want to play? For example, I don't even play in the distribution, for example. I play in the trading, in the financing part. So you must know, where do you want to play? Do you want to play in the logistics part? Do you want to play in the distribution part? I've seen people send me DM about, I want to start this palm oil business. What do I do? And I'm saying, I'm probably going to talk about, I think I made a slide specifically for that. Before you jump, these are the things you should cover. But let's move on. So I will jump a bit on this value chain, from smallholder farmers to those who process it, to the aggregators and the traders, to the distributors, and then to the people that buy. Who are the people that buy? The companies, the end users, the people that are consuming. But that's like the run-through process, because I realized that the time I said is already running, and I want us to cover as much as possible. Now, so quickly, what are the 7 ways you can make money from palm oil or from the palm oil trade? What are the 7 ways? The very first one is retail and direct selling. And so for anyone who says, I want to start palm oil right now, you don't need a farm, you don't need a truck, you just need the right entry point. And that's what I was talking about earlier. First, what's retail and direct selling? You have a shop, you have a store. You can say that right now you want to start selling at that store. Or you know someone that has a store. You can say, now I want to start selling to you for you to sell at the store. Or you know people who buy palm oil, who use palm oil. All of us here, for example, all of us use palm oil. Now imagine that right now, I think we are about 36 people here out of our over 200 people that register. But let's say all the 200 people were here, for example, or 250 people that registered were here. And you have access to all of those 250 people. And all of those 250 people, all of them, you can be sure that all of them use palm oil. So what does it mean? That on the average, they use at least maybe 1 keg of palm oil in a month or in 2 months. Am I correct? So imagine that you are the one that is giving all of them 1 bottle of palm, or 1 bottle or 1 keg of palm oil every month. That is direct selling. And you can build a direct market that you are supplying every month or every week or every day, as it works for you, or as it works for, or based on the demand that you get. So the ways that you can make money from palm oil is retailing it, selling it, whether in a store or directly. So you retail in a store that you own, or in a store that somebody else owns, and say, help me sell this, and then when they sell, you collect your money, or sometimes they pay you money in advance. That's one of the ways. Number 2 is through distribution and marketing network. And I'm going to try not to waste as much time on some of this information. First is, any product you want to sell whatsoever, whether it's palm oil, whether it's anything you want to sell, one of the very first things that you must sort out is the market. Who are those that are going to buy this thing? You don't focus on getting the product first before having your market. For example, in the post, a lot of people say, oh, how do you offload, distribute everything in 2 weeks or in 4 weeks? Now, if you already have a market that you are supplying, it's the easiest thing to do. But if you have to first bring it in to start looking for markets, which is what most people do, then it becomes a challenge. So find or build a distribution and a marketing network. So I say, for example, just like I mentioned earlier, you can start right now and say, part of my distribution network, I want to build a direct distribution network. I want to create a WhatsApp community for those people that need palm oil, whether from my environment or my immediate community or the environment of my community. I currently live in Coventry, for example. So I can say that people that live in Coventry, that live in Rugby, that's Rugby, another area in Coventry, after Coventry, people that live in maybe Birmingham and all of the surrounding area. I want to get 100 to 500 people that I know that they use palm oil every day. And I want to say that I want to be your plug. I want to be the one to give you your palm oil every time, every month. So every month, maybe on the 30th or something, it's like some kind of subscription model. I'm going to deliver palm oil to your doorstep. That can be that. Now, I cannot take it a step further. I'm building a distribution of shops that need palm oil. And I say this, many shops will say no, but many will also say yes. Because guess what? There are times and seasons where many shops that even say no will be in need of it. For some reason, it will not be available. You will be the only one that can supply them. And the moment you come in, it means that you already have a step inside. So meaning that going forward, you can start supplying no matter how little to them. The challenge is many of us do not want to do the work, the hard work of finding the people or the places that want to distribute to. And again, this has not to even do with palm oil alone. It can be anything that you choose to sell. You can try to go into cashew nuts, for example. You can try to go into distribution of granules. You can try to go into distribution of chin-chin. I'm just using that as an example. You can try to go into distribution of kuli-kuli. Any of these goods, the same principle works. Many people will say no to you. Your goal is not the people that say no. Your goal is to build a distribution network that you can regularly distribute to. So if you have, for example, 50 stores or 100 stores that are within your network, every time you have come with palm oil, it means that those 50 stores, each of those stores, usually you can supply them within the range of 10 to 50, if I'm correct. 10 to 50. So meaning that imagine you supply a store 50 kegs of palm oil, or let's say bottles of palm oil. 50 bottles of palm oil multiplied by 50 stores. If my math is correct, that should be 25. I'm not a very good mathematician, but so that I'm not saying wrongly, because people used to accuse me of saying wrong things sometimes. 50 multiplied by 50 is what? That's, it's 2,500. So what does it mean? It means that every other month, you can supply a store 2,500 bottles of whatever of palm oil. Does that look impossible? Just to be sure, guys, does that look impossible to achieve? Now, if your distribution store that you have within your network is now also more than 50, what does that mean? It means that what? You have 100. You can supply 5,000. And I'm just saying 50. It's possible that there are stores that need more than 50. And maybe there are stores that need less than 50. But point is, for you to make money from this, it means that one of the ways is through distribution and marketing. I want to move faster. Then the next thing is what? Through commodity trading. Commodity trading is simply, what is the commodity? Palm oil is a commodity. And it's not only palm oil that is a commodity. There are other forms of commodities. So you take palm oil as one of commodity. You buy it, and then you offload it. You sell it and collect money instantly. You are not stressing over it. Or there is a palm oil trade, you put money into it, and then you make money instantly. It's simply just trading. It's buying and selling, just like the name. It's buying and selling. Then the next thing is through offtake agreement. Now, offtake agreement is simply, there are people who already have the market, the people that they sell to, or people that they can supply to. So they take these goods. So you bring in these goods, whether you are importing it or whether you are buying it from the United Kingdom, or somebody supplying you, or this thing doesn't have to be in the UK, it can be in Nigeria. Anyway, by the way, you take these goods, maybe you bring 500 bottles or 1,000 bottles. I'm just using bottles as an example. And you just deliver it to these people, these off-takers. It can be one of them, it can be 10 of them, it can be 50 of them. So, you know, this one needs 20, this one needs 100. They take it and they're the one that will distribute it to stores and to shops. There are some people that they have more than one shop or store, so they buy or they take for their own stores as a form of, as an off-taker. So they take from you. So you do the heavy lifting of bringing in the goods and they take that from you. Now, it's not everybody that will just accept your goods. You probably have to establish a relationship. You probably have to leverage a network to find some of those people. But those are easy or simple that a lot of people make money from palm oil already. Then, of course, facilitate exports, meaning that you bring in from Nigeria or anywhere else where you are bringing it from. Moving from there, then the other way you can make money, which is one of the parts we're talking about, or this webinar was supposed to be about, is financing the trade. So let's say, take an example, and I'll do two options, the Nigerian and the UK example. Let's say that a container of palm oil, or half container of palm oil, or even a quarter container of palm oil, just random example, guys. Let's say a quarter container of palm oil is 10 million naira. 10 million naira. And then you know the person that is doing this trade, that is doing this. So you say, okay, you want to buy this container, 10 million naira. I'm going to give you 5 million naira. I'm going to give you 2 million naira. I'm going to give it whatever, even the 10 million naira. However, as you sell these goods, we are going to share the profit together. You can do the legwork, or you already have your markets, by the way. You know, maybe you just bring in to, maybe it's one of those people that already have off-takers. So they bring it in and then they just distribute to those. So they don't have to use their money for it. They can even use their money to buy more of other product or something else, but they take your 10 million naira. They buy the goods, they supply to their off-taker. Their off-takers distribute within 1 week to 4 weeks. Maybe in some cases, if it extends more, they collect their money back, they pay you your money and give you an interest on it. Or if it's distribution of profit, distribute profit on it, depending on what your agreement is with that person. But that's financing the trade. And that's one of the things that Playtives is doing. We are looking for opportunities that is guaranteed that people make money. Like 100%. There's no, I'm not sure is it going to come? Will this happen? We have already secure that, okay, this opportunity. And it's not just palm oil, it's just that currently that's the opportunity that we have on ground, where you can finance it. You can either co-own it or own it outrightly, you own the full deal outrightly, or co-own the full deal, or choose to own for invest for a guaranteed percentage monthly. So we have that model as well. And it doesn't have to be Playtives. You can just simply find people who are already doing that as well and do it with them. So that's the idea of the opportunity. Simply find them and do it with them. And of course, other ways is through farming and processing as well. So let's move forward from here. So how do you want to get started? I think first and foremost is starting small. I don't think anybody who just want to get into the sector should go and buy a trailer container. I don't but I don't think that's logical. I don't think so. Except again, you already established that you have the market that is going to take it off you. You have guaranteed it, possibly even in written form. You know, maybe one or two other options that you're going to distribute it. Then okay, it's okay for you to put your money into that and buy a trailer or buy half a container of a trailer now, have a container or quarter of a container. Then you can do that. But if you don't have that yet and you want to actually do the business like a work or some kind of job or site or so, then I think I recommend doing the retail and direct selling first. Start with that. Meaning that buy small quantities. Say, okay, I'm going to buy 50 bottles. I'm going to buy 100 bottles. And I know that, okay, on these 100 bottles, this is my margin on it. Now, it's going to be small. But if I can achieve the 100 bottles, it means that I have a market. I'm going to have a list of people that I can be selling to. The same way, I'm going to have a list of what distributors or list of what shops that I'm going to also be distributing to. So I think start from that small quantity. You don't even have to have a brand. You don't have to have your name on it yet at that time. You can sell somebody else's brand or just buy to resell or just sell without a brand. Then the distribution and the marketing network. Find shops, find wholesalers, wholesale that distributes. That's your job. That's the work part of it. So you have to leverage network and all of these things to find that. So that way you can increase your 150 to 100 or increase to 500 and increase it to more as well. Then commodity trading, where you buy at volume. So for example, part of the commodity trading I currently do in Nigeria, where you can buy a trailer of palm oil because you are buying to supply to, you are not buying to be selling to people that need 100 or 50. No, you are buying to supply big trailer to an organization, and there are organizations that use palm oil to build their product every day. Our guests will probably talk a little bit about that as well. So you buy large, maybe a trailer. A trailer is actually, there are either a 30 tons trailer or a 50 tons trailer. So let's say you buy 30 tons trailer. Now, 1 ton, depending on the month, the price fluctuates. But let's assume that 1 ton is 2 million naira. Because I think as at the last time it was 2,050,000 from Korea, I'm not sure. But let's say 1 ton is 2 million naira, and you're buying a 30 tons trailer or a 50 tons trailer. A 50 tons trailer will mean 2 million naira times 50. If I am correct, that should be 100 million naira, if I'm correct. Now, you buy the 100 million naira and you supply to an organization instantly. So you buy now, depending on the cycle can take 15 days or 30 days, depending on where it's being bought, whether it's bought from within Nigeria or it's bought from outside Nigeria, because you can either buy from Nigeria, Okomu oil, these are the places where you can buy, or you buy from maybe like a Cote d'Ivoire or other places outside Nigeria, you import it into Nigeria. I'm using Nigeria as an example now, because that's one that we practice. So you buy a truck of, let's say, a 50 tons, like I said, 100 million. You supply. Now, remember, the amount is what? We said it was 2 million naira per ton. Your profit on it may just be, is it 100 naira? Let's say it's 15. Okay, let's use 100 naira as an example. It can either be 15 naira, 100 naira, depending on what they're selling. But let's say your margin on it is just 100 naira. So meaning that when you are selling them at 2,100,000 naira. Do you get that? You bought it at 2 million per ton. When you are selling to the company that need it, like Dangote company use it, like Indomie needs it, and some of these other companies. So you sell at 2,100,000. I want to calculate it to be sure. You bought 50 tons, if I'm correct. So when I say 100, like 100,000 naira, sorry. You bought at 2 million, your margin on it is 100,000 naira. So we'll calculate 2.1 million, that's what it is. Then you multiply that by 50 tons that you bought. What does it mean? It means that in just that one trade, you have made 5 million naira in just that one cycle. And because as you are supplying the organization, it takes 2 to 3 days, they pay you your money back, and you can go again, buy again, and do another supply, and it goes on and on. Do you understand that instantly, you don't have to wait for 2 days. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for 6 months or whatever for me to make money from this thing. That is what commodity trading is, and it doesn't have to be palm oil alone. I want to take your time and go and research into other form of commodities. You can begin to look at, okay, who are the people that need this commodity? And it does, I mean, there's cocoa, there's cashew, that people need, organization need in large volume. I'm not talking bottles now. This is large volume. It's always like in a container or in a trailer or in a truck of sorts. And there's a number of tons that they require. This organization already, they need it every day. So there is a bid out to say, okay, if you have, we need 5,000 tons from you, we need 100 tons from you. It's what you can supply them. So if they say they need 5,000 tons, for example, and what you can supply is 50 tons, they will only pay you for the 50 tons. But what does it mean? There is a market there for that number of tons that you have been unable to meet. Do you understand that? I hope you understand that. Please, just to be sure, because I know I've been speaking a lot and I'm about to round up in 5 minutes so that we can take our guests. Can you please let me know in the comment section that you are following? I want to be sure so that I know it doesn't look like I'm just talking to myself. That you are following. Can you please say I am following, or I understand? I would love to know that I'm not just speaking to myself. That will be lovely. Oh, okay, I'm following. Okay, thank you guys. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I deeply appreciate that. All right, I'm going to move forward. I think I'm just going to run off. So I think I spoke about all of this model already. The export angle, the market, who buys in the UK, the African, the Caribbean stores, food manufacturers are using palm oil, or even restaurants as well that you can supply to, cosmetic and soap producers. And these are not just in the UK. In Nigeria, I'm talking about Nigeria because we are even already leveraging that in Nigeria. Now, now for some of these ones, you are not, for a cosmetic brand, you are not supplying them bottles, for example. You are buying like a trailer, a container load, and supplying them as they need it. Of course, there are things that you must scale through. We are not doing that yet, like exporting in trailers for whatever, for our ships for organizations in the UK. More like the angles is more like organizations in Nigeria who are already leveraging that. Of course, the export angle for stores, for individuals who are leveraging that. But the people that need it, whether in Nigeria and the UK, they are restaurants, catering companies, diaspora families, about families buying in bulk, food manufacturers, or even restaurants, African and Caribbean grocery stores. And the things that are important that we need to cover are UK import regulations, food standards, and all of that. I don't want to say this because I think that there are questions that we may have that our guest is also going to deal with as well. So I'm going to just move forward. Now, what are a bit of a risk that can happen sometimes? One of the things that always happen, or that can happen with a palm oil, is price volatility, but usually it can be predicted. So you can know that palm oil is going to get expensive at this also time of the year. It's always known most times. So what people always do is they buy and audit for that time, and then they sell at that time. So right now, there are people that are currently buying, in some cases, and hoarding for some instances, now, depending on what or how you are buying. Other than that, if you are talking about just the trade and the supply part, it's pretty much straightforward. I am going to, there is a lot to cover, and I realize that I cannot cover it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to jump to the question segment. I'm going to jump to the question segment because I think we are going to get a lot more benefit from that segment. So while I'm going to be bringing our guest up, please, can you do me a favor? I'm not sure I've seen any question in this chat, whether from what I've shared so far or from what you are wondering around this. Can you begin to put your question? We took some questions outside before now from one or two people. We're going to start with that. But just in case your questions are not among those questions, I'm going to bring in, so please put your questions in the chat box, and then I'm going to bring on stage our guest for today. I'm excited to have him, really excited to have him. Let me try to make you co-host again if it works. Did it work? Oh God. Okay, I'm gonna just spotlight you for everybody. Where's the spotlight? Okay, 1 second, guys. This is weird. All right. All right. All right. So remove permission to multi-pin. All right. Dion, can you hear me? Okay, amazing. Okay, great. All right. So first of all, let me before it comes up, I'm excited to have here with us. His name is Adedayo Ido. We have another name for him, but he has not made it public, so don't let me make it public. He's the CEO and managing director of Idomit Agro. You can Google it. Is they trade in not just palm oil, they trade in agro-commodity products, and they trade in billions every other month. These are verifiable information. Beyond that, they've also scaled this. They're in Nigeria primarily, and then they've also scaled to the United Kingdom, where they have a big warehouse in the UK, and then they are also supplying. Now, before they are just even in the process of the warehouse, by the way. But before now, they just export this product into the UK and they distribute to people as well. By the way, the story I shared is practically a bit of some of the story. So when people say that, oh, some of these stories are fake, they don't understand. It's some of these. Most stories that we share on the page is somebody I know that is doing it. Now, we try to adapt this in a different way so that, of course, you're not giving a lot of things away, a lot of things out there. Now, I'm excited to have him here. He has done this for years, for many years, and he's continuing to do it. And he's one of those people that, despite him not being public, is very what's the word now? He's very generous with information. He's very generous with information, and he's very generous with empowering people to also earn and to make a lot of money. And that's why I said that first he agreed to partner with Playtives such that we can create a deal for people to own outrightly, as well as to invest for a guaranteed profit. They do it every other day. Oh, it's who is better for us to partner with in that area. Just like similarly, how we partner with filmmakers for you to invest. How, by the way, I was sharing someone here. There's a discussion we are currently having with a top filmmaker right now. I don't know if I should mention her name, but one of the top two female filmmakers. So just guess who in your mind. And we're hoping that next year, one of our films, people in Playtives can actually invest and co-own in it. So that way, every time the film make $1 billion, whatever, at the cinema, people will also earn as well. We're working about, it's not just film, like I said, we are looking for sure opportunities, sure guaranteed opportunities, and this is one of them. But first and foremost, I think I'll just like him to come up. His name is Adida Edo. He's going to do like a quick, maybe like 2, 3, 5 minute introduction and give us like a quick charge, and then we can just go straight into asking him, firing the questions, and he can just take it from there. Dion, the floor is yours.
Hi. Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You can hear me, right?
Absolutely. We can hear you.
Great. Don't mind, Gabriel. I'm happy to be here, actually. It's a privilege to be here. It's an opportunity for me to, of course, be of some impact and help somebody to see clearly on what the next step would be and all that. So for me, it's a privilege to be here. And thank you for having me, Gabriel. You're doing a great work. And while I was listening to you, I was wondering, why is this guy so passionate about this thing? I don't understand. But thank you so much for this platform, and thank you for the opportunities you provided for people to, to grow and to make money. And beyond making money, actually, and it's to build something sustainable. And that's, for me, that's like personally what the goal is for me. So my name is Adida Edu. Presently, I'm the CEO of Idomit Agro. So I'll tell people that I have 49 years experience in this business. So when people see me and they feel like I'm very young, they're like, what do you mean by 49 years experience? Of course, I'm not 40 years. This is a business has been in my family for over 40 years. My dad was a commodity trader, or he's still a commodity trader because he's retired now, but he still does bit and bit of this. He's done this over 40 years. And when I joined, or when I stumbled on this dimension, I think I would like to share a bit of background on how I started this business. So of course, all my life I've been in marketing, communications, branding, PR, here and there, work with different agencies, and then suddenly, sometimes in 2016 or 2015, my dad called. That was before COVID. Yeah, COVID was 2020, so it was like 3 or 3 years before COVID. And my dad called, and then he said he needed an account number, my account number, to transfer some funds. And then at that time, it was, imagine a young man like me. Yeah, somebody told me, oh, my dad said he needed my account at that time, and then all of a sudden I saw 25 million naira transfer in my account. And I was I don't understand. What do you mean by 25? In fact, so even the account got blocked. Of course, because that kind of amount has never entered my account before, like 25 million naira from where, and the bank had to call, they placed the ban on the accounts, and of course, like a restriction on the accounts. Of course, we can't transfer anything from there on there. So, of course, we had to go to the bank and all of that. We did all of those dynamics. I'm getting to a point right here. And so one day, I wanted to understand, where did this money come from? What exactly are you people selling that gave you 25 million naira? So one day, he also needed my account. He needed me to withdraw some cash from that money. So we withdrew some cash from that money. I wanted to be given to somebody somewhere. So I met up with the escort that was following a particular truck, and I saw one massive truck, like I don't think I've ever seen that kind of truck before, actually, because it was an imported truck into Nigerian market. And it was at a Ghana plate number. It was massive because I think it was carrying about 59,000 tons of CPO. Then I'm like, all my life, of course, I live with my dad all my life. He was always traveling here and there, doing all of that. I was never interested in what he was doing. I never cared what he was doing. So I saw, like, I don't understand. Why would anybody need palm oil that size? Like, what are they using it for? So that's why I got interested. So I will tell people I stumbled on it because even that's the fact that it's been in the family for a while. Yeah, I was never interested. I thought I was going to make my first $1 billion or $1 million. in marketing and branding, and that. And we did our best, and that's how I started doing research. I started following him to do all of those things. And then for him, he was a very contentious guy. He was a commission agent. What he did was helps people supply, and then he takes the commission, and it's fine. He did that for over 40 years. It was fine. He's made, of course, never stole anybody's money, never did any of that. He just supply. Oh, I have a market. You have a product. I'll help you supply. You give me the commission, and that's it. So sometimes when I started doing a bit of business with him, we would do transactions of 150 million naira, 250 million naira. Guess what? The commissioner will come to us sometimes 75,000 naira. So I'm like, this is not making sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, how would you do transaction for somebody and then they pay you this amount of commission? I think at the time maybe it was charging 200K or something now, 1,000 naira per truck. He wasn't even taking percentage commission on it. And he was fine. Like my dad is he's fine. Kachama for people that don't understand Yoruba here, is let's just have good name, just protect your name and interest, and it's fine, basically. So of course I started doing a bit of research, understanding that I could understand what the business is and all of that. And that's how I started. So I branched out, started my own business in 2018, January 2018. And it's been like that. Of course, we also started as a commission agent as well, So I had these people that had a truck, and then and that's just to say to some of the ways to start. I'm already going into the things I want to share basically on how to start this business. Basically, you don't need to have 50 million naira or 10,000 naira or 5K or even $1,000 to start this business. First, I started as a commission agent. We've built Idomi so far. Right now, we're doing. I'm happy to share that we're doing at least $65 million turnover annually, over $65 million turnover. But we started as a commission agent. So when I say commission agent, so Gabriel has a truck of load. He's the rich boy, with his glasses and stuff. He has money. He bought palm oil. And then Dio, me, I know who wants to buy right now. So probably because I have relationship with somebody that wants to buy. So I tell Gabriel, give me your truck. I'm gonna sell for you. You don't pay me off front. I don't pay you off front, which is why integrity is important in this business. My style of presentation is actually storytelling. So you have to follow me through to pick up my points basically. So I'm not going to give you number one, number two, number 3 points. You have to really follow the journey for me to pick up those information that I'm saying. So number two, I've said 2 key things now. You don't need anything to start. Like my pastor will tell you, start with what you want. You don't need anything to start this business. Number two, you can start. What's important in this business is trust. And when I talk about trust, I want to share a personal story too. There's one agent, a broker that we use for our exchange rates when we do transactions, because we do transactions across the border. So over the years, we do transactions in Togo, Benin Republic, Ghana, Senegal, Liberia. All of those, when it comes to ECOWAS, that's our strength and our major strength, basically. And this particular agent, she runs a small business. We've done close to 22 billion naira transaction in a space of maybe like 4 or 5 years. I'd never seen that before in my life. Like, we've never seen each other like this in my life, up until maybe some 2 years ago, And so this business is a trust business. So if you have 2 things, like I said, you have market access. You have people can trust you. People can put their faith in you. They can trust that you are someone with integrity. So you tell somebody, for example, Gabriel, I have this truck, you have this truck, I have this customer that wants to buy. I take a percentage from that money, and that's it. And that's where the cycle starts from. And that's how we started, basically. So from charging 200,000 naira per truck to charging 5 naira, no, 2 naira, to charging 3 naira per truck, to charging 5 naira to 20 naira to 50 naira per truck, basically. And that's how you make your money from this business, basically. So imagine you will sell a truckload of a tanker, which is usually 30,000 tons or 50,000 tons or 51,000 tons, multiplied by 5 naira or 5,000 naira, that's already 2,000, 250,000 naira that you're making without any stress. Like you're not doing anything. Sometimes even the guys, the owner of the truck will be the one to even send escorts to the factory. You just call them on your phone in your room and say, "Oh, I have this truck coming, supply, they offload, you take the offloading weight, I take my commission, they pay, I send you your money to you, you pay me my money, and that's it." And that's how to start sometimes, basically. Um, so that's a bit of what we do. So of course we've grown beyond of that. Now we're doing big scales of transactions. We do import into Nigerian market from Indonesia, Malaysia. We do exports as well, like the Gabriel rightly said. Right now our company is presently domiciled in Canada, so we're a Canadian business. We are also presently domiciled in the United Kingdom. So we are also a United Kingdom-based business. We are also presently domiciled in Qatar, which is also makes us a Qatari company as well. So these entities form a group of companies that we run, and that's where we are right now. So beyond supply and trade, we call ourselves farmers as well because we have plantations, palm plantations. We're in talks with Abia state governments as well right now to plant some large mass of plantation in that state. And here and there, that's what we do. And that's the background to what we do. And like I said, I'm open to take questions and open to help offer clarity from anybody.
Okay.
Somebody just asked a question in the group chat. I think I spotted that. They
Yes.
said, how do we meet clients?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Because as much as this market is a huge market,
Can
yeah,
I say that? Can you answer it from two perspectives? Because I think we have two categories of people here. We have those that are
okay,
in the UK, and we have those that are in Nigeria.
okay,
So you know that
okay,
for those that are in the UK, the kind of client they're talking about probably is not the kind of big supply of a truck. And do you get what I mean? Or
okay,
there is that
okay,
part you
okay.
can address. So just address from that two perspectives.
Okay, that's great. So I think let me also quickly share a bit of story about our UK market. Because like I said, we are a UK company, registered UK with the custom company house. So how did we start? Of course, our business in the UK because we have a plantation here in Nigeria. So most of our plantation output, our milling output and refinery, whatever we do, is solely for our export markets. So luckily for me, when like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, my sister moved to the UK. And the question was, okay, what were you going to be doing there? Because obviously it's a business here in Nigeria that we're trying to start and to build. So how do we, of course, make some money for FX money? So the easiest way that we started was simple. We used commission agents. And see, commission agents are quite essential in this business because sometimes you don't need to know the market. You don't need to have all the information that you need. So I know the first supply that we did to the UK market, it was a container load. We considered a container, and it was about maybe 6 or 7, 10 pallets of palm oil. Forgive me, Gabriel was saying, "Oh, we don't have market." We didn't have market when we came into the market. When we brought our first consignment to the UK, I can be very daring. That's what one thing about me is I can be very adventurous. I can be very daring. I don't mind to lose 10 million
Guys,
naira,
don't
20
forget
million
that he
naira.
has billions to spend. So if you don't have that billions to waste, don't dare you to go on.
So I can be very adventurous. In fact, we tried something recently. We started exporting what's it called, vegetables to the market. We lost some money. I didn't mind because for me is we opened our market access for ourselves. Sometimes you use money to open doors for markets. Sometimes you use connections and relationships to do that. And for us, what we did was we just leveraged commission agents. So they were like, we made a bit of commission, like commission agents, like brokers, in Dagenham and that's like Southeast London. And then of course, I have a personal relationship with them, and they said, oh, they have a 3, 4, 10 African stores that they supply to. They have high demand for palm oil. They always rely on only all these guys, these Paki guys, Pakistan guys, or Indian guys to supply them. Like, why would any Paki woman or person be selling palm oil for us when we have palm oil in Nigeria? I'm like, okay, that's a market opportunity. Okay, so you know what? don't worry, go and find the market. I will bring the oil for you guys. And so that's how we started. So, and because they do the legwork. So they made store 1, store 2, store 3, store 7. Right now, we supply to over 60 something, 65 stores in the UK. I won't lie to you. I don't think I have been to any of those 65 stores before. But I leverage on people that have the access, and I don't mind to pay some commission to them, basically. So to answer your question, how do you start? You can easily walk to any African store because they will take from you, because the palm oil that is circulated in the UK is not so many of them come from inside Sierra Leone. They don't have the same quality as Nigerian oil. Nigerian oil still offers the best quality of palm oil when it comes to edible palm oil. Because of our process, we first, before pruning it, we like to fry it properly. We fry our own palm oil compared to other states that they prefer to eat it raw. So they always still prefer palm oil from Nigeria because it is usually well done and well made. So how do you start? You can start that way. Know one or two people that has access to one or two markets, offer them a commission, a small, so sometimes we sell maybe a bottle of, I don't have the numbers in my head right now, but say we sell a bottle of palm oil maybe for £9, for example. I don't mind to part the weight with maybe £1.50 as commission for you. I take the rest, but you did legwork, you supply the market, you pay me the money after you're sold, and that's it, basically. So that's one angle. To find market in Nigeria, I will also say that this bulk supply market is an exclusive market, because people that we work with in Nigeria that we supply, particularly for multinationals like the Dofio, the PZ Wilmar, the Indomie guys, the Golden Oils. So before you can actually supply to those people, you need to have a bit of credibility. Like you need to have a structured system, like a registration company. They need to know that you are verifiable, that you have a smart track record as well. So I would say it's an exclusive business, because that's why people ask you, "Oh, so why don't people do this business?" Because it's quite it's not enough to have money. It's not enough to have nowhere to go and buy the product from. The biggest order on this market, in this business, is the where to sell, is the market, for the bulk supply. And that's it, basically. So how do you get that level? It starts small, like I said. Sometimes you start with a commission agent and they help you to sell. You take your product, you go back again. Like I said, don't be afraid to give out small tiny of your margin from your profits. And then the more you open those, I know that sometimes, even as big as we are, sometimes there are some companies that we struggled to supply like 3 years ago. Before, okay, we were supplying Dofio like about 3 years ago. So we were supplying to a third party company, who was a commission agent. So we'll supply them the truck. They will take the truck to the company, and then they will supply it on our behalf. But it didn't make sense to me anymore. Like, okay, so because we own the market, we own the business, we own the logistics, we know the numbers. So what I'm saying is, even at a big company, you can have a bit of restriction in who is going to buy from you, because it's solely a business that is strong on connection and who you know and who you leverage on, and how your relationship you can leverage on, basically. So relationships are very, very important. That your uncle that is working with one account finance somewhere might have access to that place. That's somebody in your neighbor that has access to one place can have access to those places, basically, and that's how you can access some of those markets. But so for some of them, you can just walk up to them, share your credentials, tell them your capacity, tell them what you've done, your track record as well, and you can proceed from there. I don't know if I'm able to answer those two questions clearly,
Yeah.
but I'm still very open to offer
Someone is
clarity.
asking that can you recommend a good commission agent in the UK? Or
Okay, of course.
maybe the best way, how should they get a commission agent in the UK? They have a
In
product,
the
I
UK.
guess now. How should they get one? Yeah.
So I would say the easiest to is friends and family. Um, I don't. So I tell people, my personal belief is, I don't anybody in God has not left anybody in this life without anything to trade with or to do. Like I said, this is the first woman lady that sold her palm oil for us in the UK. It was a neighbor in Nigeria that I'd lived with for almost maybe 17 years in my former area. And of course, she moved to the UK. And then, of course, she heard that I do this business. Like, oh, she has one or two markets. So my point is, look into your present circle that you have right now. And be open, like be verbal. Let people know what you're doing. Like sometimes we create in isolation. So sometimes we also market in isolation, and yes, I can share contacts, definitely. It's also a question. I can share contact and recommend people that can help you to sell. But I mean, my point is,
We'll
look
collate some of them and
inwards.
send to the group. Go on.
Yes, look inwards into your circle of friends that you have. There's somebody somewhere that have access to something that you need, and that's my belief. Yeah.
Okay. While that is going on, if you have any other question, guys, can you please put it down in the comment section as well? So let's quickly talk a little bit about profit margin. I think somebody asked that earlier, something around that. But I know before now, someone already asked that. Okay, so Ben said that okay, this was addressed to me, but I think you will have to answer this. It says you mentioned that you have never been to the farm before, but you make money in palm oil. Please, how? And also, what is the ROI? I'm sure in the capital investment part, you can put money, 1 million, and then get a lot more capital. So, but the point is, how do you make the money? How do you make money in palm oil? And then what is the ROI? And again, if you can address it from the two perspectives, both the UK ROI and the Nigerian. Now, you remember the Nigerian perspective, for many people that are not listening, we are focusing on large volume of palm oil in Nigeria, not the single ones. Not like sell for hand. So please address from those two perspectives.
So I think I would address that single one too, because sometimes not everybody has the 100 million naira to start. So I know that in 2029, I think that was it 2099 or 2015? One of those years when Buhari put a ban that blocked the borders, and then we couldn't import into the Nigerian market. So what we were forced to do was to trade in gallons, in kegs. So there are three ways to make money in this industry. I think I should start from there. You do buy and sell, supply and demand. You supply. There's what we also call ordering, and I think Gabriel shared some light, like an idea of it. So I want to maybe expand on that idea. So some people that I know in this business, they don't do the daily trade by trade that we do. Go and buy and supply. For some of them, what they do is just odd. So every January, if you also if you notice as well, January, February, March of every year, there's always a crash in the market for palm oil. This is why it's simply economics, demand and supply. During those periods, we are already entering the peak season of palm oil. So naturally, when there's too much supply, the price would fall. I don't know if you still remember your economic classes here. So those periods, people take advantage of that, and what David and Gabriel rightly said is, so they will buy in January, February, March. They'll start to buy and store them, and when it becomes like October, November, December, sometimes from September. So imagine this year now, for example. Or let me use last year because I have verifiable data for last year. Last year, at this period of time, a keg of palm oil was being sold for 15,000 naira. That's between February, March, April, was being sold for 15,000 naira. I know for a fact that at the end of the year, around November, December, with that same palm oil was sold for 85,000 naira. So imagine 85 minus 15 that you bought it. That's 60K, right? So imagine if you bought 100 kegs of a gallon of palm oil, 60K times 100. You did not do anything. All you did was buy and wait for the market to appreciate. Simple like that. So I know 10, 15, 20 people that's all they do. They don't even bother themselves with it because palm oil sometimes can be fluctuating in terms of pricing. They don't bother themselves. They just store. One of our close clients in Benin Republic in Cotonou, he has about 8,000 metric ton storage capacity locally. It's not all those silos of big ones that we have that we know. Local one, it's just store it. At this time, he's buying, he's stocking, he's bagging. And every year, sometimes he makes 500 million naira, 800 million naira profits. Because all you just do is store, keep his money. It's like you're banking. You bank the money, you keep the money, you wait, and then you sell. So that's also a strategy for somebody here. And I know I've advised, I think I've been privileged to have this conversation with a couple of new people in the market last year that they took advantage of this. All they do was buy. So sometimes you go and buy from the farthest place as far as possible, buy from the farm gate. What farm gate does to you is it gives you access to smaller price. So for example, in Imo State right now, Imo, Owerri, and Abia and all that, I think they're selling a keg of palm oil for 28,000 naira right now. So maybe your logistics to Lagos, it's under 1,500 or 2,000. Maybe your landed price to Lagos or whatever you are, could be 32,000 naira. So imagine you've bought 5 kegs or 10 kegs at 32,000 naira. You keep it somewhere safe, of course, keep it safe so that they don't see your investment. And then you wait till the end of the year to sell at 60,000 naira, to sell at 70,000 naira. And that's it. And that's another strategy to just start the business. Number two, of course, is if you have access to large funds. Somebody asked in the question on the chat earlier, how do you raise capital for this? I won't say it is easy or it is hard to raise capital. I think it's very hard because banks understand that trade, businesses that does trade. And there are two ways to maybe raise funds for this. It's still friends and family. Friends and family, and the bank and the financial institutions or whatever you have. But for a bank, you need a collateral. Sometimes they ask you. Sometimes you also need a track record of trade to say, okay, I've done this before. I have made this money and it's this proven data and I can present this to you. But the easiest way to raise capital is, I have an auntie that has 10 million naira or 1 million naira. I take 1 million naira from this. I take 1 million naira from that guy. I take 300 million naira. I promise them a commission or ROI and say, at the end of the day, I'm going to pay you back. Which is why the first thing I said earlier is a trust business. If you are someone that does not have integrity, nobody will trust you to hand over capital or money for you. And the only way we have kept our name in these markets, at least we are top 3 suppliers of palm oil in Nigeria right now, is because we would supply when you ask us to supply. When you give us money, we will deliver. It's as simple as that. So you have to be someone that is trustworthy. So raise funds from family and friends. 1 million naira, 500,000 naira, this and that, and then you start from there. And of course, sometimes you can also approach a bank if you have connections with them. I have this trade, I have this LPO. This LPO is a local purchase order that says, I have an agreement to supply these goods. I raise a capital against this, or if I have a land somewhere, I have a land somewhere. Let me hold this against the collateral against this business. Will do this transaction for me, and that's it. So something. So, like I said, who you know is very important, and trust is key in this business. Basically, I don't know if I'm as answered to that. Basically, so, but for the bulk supply, if you have the money, yes. Who do you buy it? Who do you sell it to? Was that a question that I was asked, Gabriel?
Yeah, for the bulk supply, I think for this person, the person was asking that sorry, 1 second now.
So Jerry said Nigerian banks don't offer LPO again. I don't think Nigerian banks will offer you an LPO. LPO is meant to be local purchase order.
Yeah.
So some of them would ask for a collateral. So there are two things you can also do, Jerry. I'm speaking directly to you now. It's what we call invoice discounting. Maybe if you approach them 4 times, they said you try 4 times and it doesn't work. So try approaching them with invoice discounting. So invoice discounting says that once you get that help you from somebody, they would supply. So when you supply, they will pay you immediately, and they will wait for the buyer to pay you in return. So sometimes they will charge you about 10% or 5% or 15%, depending on how you negotiate with them. So you can speak to your bank and ask them about invoice discounting if they've rejected your APO a couple of times, Jerry.
So the question the Raphael was asking was, what is the high ROI?
Okay, so ROI, I tell myself a bad trade should give me less than 5. Anything less than 5% is a bad trade. We don't do that. Because of course, that means it's close to your margin, so usually I tell people there's no free fund anywhere. Whether my sister gave it to me, whether it's my personal money or savings, there's no free funds. So when you're doing your business, always attach a what's it called, a lending rate to your business, to your money. So for example, our own peg is 22% at our peg, whether it's our money, whether it's our profit, whether it's anything that we do it at 22%. So imagine 22% ROI. If we're paying 22% on the money that we have, how much of trade or capital or ROI can we generate from that 22%? So anything which would be like maybe like 1.5% or thereabout every transaction every year. So any trade that does not give you more than a minimum of 5% is bad trade.
Okay.
So you can get 15%. Like I said, you can
Does this
get
apply for
10%.
the UK as well?
Oh yes, it applies for the UK as well because it's the same principle. It's the same principle.
Okay. All
It's the
right.
same principle. Yeah.
There are a few questions here, but maybe before we go, I think Raphael is raising up his hand. But Raphael, I want to be fast because I think I want us to cover as much questions, and I think our time is already running faster than we planned. So, if you can do your question in like 30 seconds so that we can take the other questions that have been typed. So, Raphael.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. So the question I ask is that, say for instance, I don't have any knowledge at all on palm oil. Yes, but I have less small capital, like I said, 1 million. How can I get into this business without buying, without all of that?
Okay. That part is one of the part that I'm going to do like a run through. No, I mentioned earlier that Playtives is doing a partnership deal with Idomit, where you can own a trade cycle of palm oil, or co-own it, or invest for a guaranteed profit. So that deal is available with Playtives. So you can say, oh, right, we have the deal is available. So we already have that agreement and that partnership. So that's why what Playtives is bringing. So I'm going to talk about that immediately after the question to share it. But simply put, what it means is for the trade that the available trade, for example, one trade can be like a trailer of 30 tons or 50 tons of palm oil. So if a trailer of 30 tons or 50 tons of palm oil is what's it called? 100 million, that's a 50 tons of palm oil. 50 tons, I think that should be around 100 million, or depending on the price can fluctuate, is 100 million. You can say, I want to own that full trade of 100 million. You can say, okay, I cannot, I want to co-own it. And to co-own it, of course, we have like a minimum investment for co-ownership. To co-own it can be like, oh, let's say it's 5 million naira, for example. So you have 5 million there. So other people put money together. It means that everybody put money together to own that one trailer or one truck of 50 tons. And we can have multiple 50 tons of trade as well. So as we buy that and supply to the organization, the money that is made based on your percentage, you get your what? You get what? Your equity from there. But of course, may I say something? Playtives as a platform gets a cut on the trade because it's places that's bringing the trade. Now, investment that you see on other platforms, usually what they will just promise you is you get 20% or you get 5% or you get whatever percent. We have that option as well, but we are deliberately building Playtives to help people become wealthy. And I said from the start, like become wealthy, no whether Nigeria. So what it means is that all the money that the business makes or that the deal makes, you earn it based on your equity. Do you understand? Now, for those who cannot afford that large option, what you're now able to do is that you can invest for a profit. We have like 2.5% to 3% guaranteed monthly profit. So meaning that if you cannot do the minimum investment for the co-ownership, if the minimum investment is 5 million, for example, and it's 1 million that you have, you can go for the minimum of 2.5% or 3% interest. So, and that percentage is paid to you every month until if you invest for 3 months, for example, the profit is paid to you every month, and at the end of the 3 months, you get your full money back. If you invest for 1 year, the profit is paid to you every month, and then at the end of 1 year, you get the full money back. Those are like the options. But for the full trade, owning everything, you can, as you own it, as you turn it over, as you pay, what's the one, and you buy it now, we supply, instantly you get your money and your profits. Instantly, that one is because you own it outrightly. And the same thing with co-ownership as well. Do you understand that? All right, but like I said, I'm going to talk about that afterwards. Wale, quickly, 1 minute.
Yeah, hello, good evening. Thank you. My name is Wale. I was wondering, is there any equivalent of, you said that we can do multiple commodities, not just palm oil alone.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, is there an equivalent of something like this in the UK that has seasons whereby maybe the price is low, then after a period of time you have the price comes down, just like it fluctuates in Nigeria? Thank you.
That's an interesting
Yeah,
question.
that's a great question, Wally. That's a very smart. So, of course, because we've been focusing on palm oil, I forgot to mention other things that we do. Beyond palm oil, like I said, we trade on the global scale. So we do not just palm oil, we do cashew nuts, we do soybeans, And then I know we've done semen seeds a couple of times, but so there's what we call in commodity trading, there's what we call nuts, and there's what we call oil seeds. Naturally, while we focus more on oil seeds, which is palm oil and its attributes. So in palm oil, I'm sure you already know palm oil has like different derivatives. There's stearin, which they use for your pasta, your indomie is from stearin, it's from palm oil. There's PFAD. That's palm fatty acids. That's what they use for soap, candle, matches, and all of those things, basically. Stearin also they use for margarine, butter, and all of those things, basically. So those are the derivatives of palm oil. We also sell those. I know that, so forgive me, we've been focusing more on only palm oil. We don't only supply palm oil. We supply nothing less than 16 products right now, currently. And I'm talking about currently, it means that we have trucks in factory, business shipments somewhere offloading right now as I'm speaking to you, basically. So for opportunities in the UK, I know cashew nuts is a big market in the UK. I know myself and my friend, of course, Gabriel is my friend. I should also be said that we've tried that cashew thing in the UK, but I'm sorry, I like big money. I'm sorry. So it will advise me and say, it's more money for me.
I cannot share that story, guys.
Yeah, so when I see the numbers that it doesn't make sense to me, I don't just try. I just don't try. So cashew I know is a big market in the UK, and cashew also has seasonal. Cashew comes out from December. You start to see the fruits to January, February, March. Once you hit April, the scarcity, you can't do cashew business anymore, like literally anymore. So that's a market that you also want to explore. So what people can do in that regard is you can decide to export as raw cashew. So we export our raw cashews to India. We've done a bit of shipping to Bangladesh before. We've done a bit of to Vietnam as well for our cashew nuts. We've done a bit of shipments to Iran on soybean meal. Soybean meal is like poultry feeds and all of those things, basically. So there are markets like that particularly in the UK. Speaking to your question, then Wale, there's I think another market you want to look to is cashew. Cashew is a big market in the UK. That you want to look into that, basically, and it's seasonal as well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Someone says
There are a
that.
lot of questions. Sorry to cut you, sir. There's a lot of questions in the group chat. I don't know if you maybe want to take them out as well.
Yeah, I wanted to read one from there. Or do you want to be taking it, or I should be reading one from there?
No, please go on. Please just read them. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of them says that if we have buyers abroad, can we contact you to supply? First, before D1 responds to this, like I said, we've come with we are currently have a partnership. Playtives currently have a partnership with Idomit, and so and we have come with this deal around invest or co-own a trade, and this trade is currently happening in Nigeria. There's one that we're working on, but we are still trying to finalize the numbers because, like I said, we only want to be sure of something that is guaranteed. And that's, for example, where we say, okay, we want to bring in a container load of palm oil, for example. But before we bring it in, we want to be sure that there is already the person that that is going to take it up and distribute it. And then so that we know that in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, our money is coming back. And then we want to also be sure about the pricing and what the profit is going to look like. Like we have to look at, okay, we know that we're guaranteed 20% or 25% or whatever number of profit that we're going to. So on that particular deal, when it's of course finalized, we are going to of course introduce the Playtives member. So meaning that you can own part of that trailer, or you can co-own it. So if a trailer, I'm just using random number, please. If a trailer is 10 million naira, you can own part of it with your 500,000, with your 1 million, with your 2 million. When the trailer comes into the UK, it's distributed, and then based on your equity, you get paid on it. And like I said, Playtives get our commission and all of that on that. But that's a deal that's coming. But for people who already have buyers abroad, because like I said, we are not just doing this for Playtives. I want you to take this information and use it for yourself, by yourself.
Yeah.
So for people that have buyers abroad, how can they want to supply? Can they get the product from you, or can you refer where they can get the product?
Oh yes, definitely. We are expanding our market in the UK right now. I think Gabriel, you tried to mention earlier. So up until now, what we just do is we do a wholesale. Our business is wholesale. We don't retail. So what I mean is our price is the price we're going to be giving you is going to be like good price because you can make some money from it. So we are presently setting up our warehouse, our distro hub in Dagenham. So if you have market access, we can supply to you. You can sell. Of course, we'll do a KYC, verify you, and all of that. Basically, we'll give you the products for free. You sell, you give us our money back. So that's possible.
Please, a lot of verification will happen in that case when they will give you without
Of
you
course,
paying first too. And in some
of course.
instances, you may be required to actually put something down or pay somewhere. But in many
Yeah. So
instances,
it depends. Like
if
I
you
said,
show
it
that you
depends.
are
Yep.
verifiable and somebody can vouch for you, especially for a
Yep.
Playtives member community, and then you can actually get those kind of opportunities. Someone is asking
Yeah.
here that says that you mentioned a lot of produce and you supply on a large scale. How sustainable is the business if you don't have these farms yourself? So you can control supply, or how do you do it? And I know, I think this is based on the fact that I said that I don't have farm and I make money from our palm oil. He has a okay. Respond to this so that
No. So I saw the question. I think it's Florence. I think it's an amazing question. It's a very
yeah.
smart question here. And thank you for asking the question. So I mentioned something earlier. Buy as much as possible as close to the farm gates. And for us, that's our strategy. Yes, we have plantations that we have. So let me give you an example of our supply capacity, our need, basically. One of the businesses that we supply here in Nigeria is called Golden Oil. Golden Oil has the biggest refinery in West Africa. These are data you can verify, basically. They have 1,500 metric tons per month capacity. Which then means that they can refine, their capacity to refine every month is, no, what am I saying, per day is 1,500 metric tons capacity. It means that if I give them 1,000 metric tons of truck of load, if you don't understand what 1,500 metric tons means, let me try and break it down. So 5,000 metric tons would be like 30 trailers of 50 tons. So they have the capacity to refine it every day. So they require a minimum of 20,000 metric tons every month. That's their capacity. So let me do another math again to say what 20,000 metric tons mean. That means they need at least 400 trucks to keep their factory running every month. So it's impossible to supply 20,000 metric tons to them. They can never find it. That's the truth. That's the reality of the market. It is impossible. So what that tells you is the market is too big. So what do we do? So our plantation can never fulfill that. So on an average plantation, 1 hectare of palm plantation, 1 hectare gives you 4 tons of palm oil. So for you to generate that kind of volume, you need at least 20,000 metric tons or 20,000 hectares of land to generate that kind of, or at least 5,000 metric tons of hectares of land to generate that kind of volume every year, basically. So our strategy has always been simple. We go as far as much as the farm gets. So our strategy in terms of supply is we have farm cooperatives. So our farm cooperatives is a very strong tool for our supply channel for us. What that means is right now we have over 2,500 farmers on our cooperatives, both in palm, in soybeans, and no, just those two, palm oil and soybeans. So what that means is everything that you produce, we guarantee it for you. You are going to give it to us. That's guaranteed for us, basically. So, and our supply market, or of course, our market is beyond just Nigeria. We don't, like I said, we don't really primarily trade in Nigeria. We have markets in West Africa. That's Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Liberia, and all of those places. So we have a structure like that just guarantees us those supplies. So like every time we know that we have a minimum of 1,000 metric tons supply every month. That has not changed for a time being because of our connection. So I can speak to that later, Florence. But that's the model basically for us. And sometimes too, you don't need to have a farm. Sometimes because we are traders. Trading means you find an opportunity. Somebody wants to sell something. You go as far as maybe Malaysia, for example. There's a market in Indonesia. I want to supply. I go somewhere in Argentina to go and find soybeans, or I go somewhere in Brazil to go and buy soy, or somewhere in California to go and find it. I have the funds, so I go and buy from them. I export, I supply. So, and that's primarily what it is, Florence.
Thank you, D1, for that question, for that answer. I hope that answered your question, Florence. Another person saying, when I have the money, he says, say 10 million naira, and a friend in the UK that can find me stores, so I'm guessing the person is not in the UK. So where and at what price can I get export grade palm oil to export to the UK?
Okay. That's a good question as well. I said like so most of the time where we buy from, like I said, we produce our own oil, so we understand the quality specs and quality control. We manage it from the beginning, from the farm to the bottle. See, it gets into the bottle. But before we had that. We were buying from locals, from local mills, from Abia State. We bought from Abia State, from Imo State, Owerri State, Delta as well. There's an area called Okitipupa as well in Ondo State. That's like the real hub for palm oil as well. You can buy from those places basically, and you get a very good price. Those are farm gates that I was talking about. So
Do
that's
they
where you
do
can buy from.
export grade quality?
So quality, sometimes you might want to do your quality to your own standard. I will be honest with you. The reason why we don't really buy from Nigerian markets because of this quality issue, because you have to maybe recook it, reprocess it, sieve the oil, sieve it from the particles and dirt away from it, and then repackage it yourself basically. But some of them have good quality. I will not lie to you. Like some have good quality. That's Ondo State, that's a Okutupa area, Imo State, Abia State, Delta State. Those areas have like good quality. Because their palm oil is really high grade as well. For those considering buying in kegs.
So for those that want to buy from Nigeria and export to the United Kingdom, where would you say they should start from specifically? Would you say that Idomis can supply them, or they should there's a particular place to leverage outside of Idomis? You are muted if you are speaking.
Oh, sorry. What we can do is share a few contacts with you, Playtives, and then you can have opportunity to share with the group.
Okay.
To be honest, so of course we have a bit of verifiable customer that we can recommend.
Yeah.
That can give good quality palm oil.
And I think I want to quickly say this just for benefit of the members as well. You mentioned that you already have. I know that you already have a place in the UK, a store and all like distro store. Now let's use this person example that says he has 10 million. If the person is able to get 10 million naira and wants to import, instead of importing, is there a way where that 10 million naira you can give him the product based on the import price in quotes?
Yeah.
And the person now more like owns it, whether it's branded for the person or not. I don't know. That kind of is that situation possible? And then the person takes it and go and sell.
Oh yeah, that's very possible. We don't do that yet, but I know it's something we can do.
Okay. All right.
Yes. So that is producing for you, and then you decide to brand yourself.
And sell. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, I think that answers your question.
Florence also had a follow-up question. I think he said about derivatives from the palm oil. So we don't refine. We don't refine. We only sell the raw materials. So the raw materials is the palm oil. Then we supply these companies that then refine it. Then they take the ororo from it. This is the vegetable oil. They take the stearin, the PFAD, and all of those things. But beyond just the palm oil, we also supply crude. That's PFAD or all those derivatives as a commodity trade itself, separate from palm oil. I don't know if that's clear, basically. Florence, thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to be sure that we've covered it. Okay, what farm or states would you recommend for someone who wants to be getting supplies directly from the farm to distribute? I think we've answered this question. Am I correct? But just to be sure, Abdul, if you can respond, if you've gotten the answer to this question already from answer that I do want to respond to. What farm or states would you recommend for someone who wants to be getting supplies directly from the farm to distribute? I think you've answered that. You mentioned Okitipupa, you mentioned Abia, you mentioned a few places. Can we get the profile of the speaker so we can follow him on social? Is he okay? Do you want?
Yes, that's fine. I'm on LinkedIn. Adedayo.
Okay. So he's on LinkedIn, Adedayo, so follow him. Let me tell you people in advance. I don't want to.
I'm sorry, I'm not a social media person. I'm sorry, I'm a very
private
private person.
Okay, you will.
So you will not really find any information on me. But then I have social presence. Yeah.
Exactly. He's online, but he's one of those people. At what point do you suspend middle sellers, and at what point do you suspend using middle sellers to sell directly to businesses? Is that possible?
It's impossible. I saw the question. It was one of the questions that interests me in the group chat, actually. Like I said, even as big as we are right now, we still use commission agents to buy and to supply, because that's the business structure. In commodity trading business, you can't, the brokerage side, you can't take it away, because sometimes, like I said, it's about connection and people you know. Sometimes Gabriel can have access to a market. So, for example, now I know we're doing a transaction in Liberia with one of those palm plantations there, and of course we've gone to them ourselves as, okay, see, this is our track record, this is our capacity, this is our bank. We give them our bank list of banks from the UK, from Canada, from Qatar, and they say no, they can't do business with us, because people can decide not to do business with you. It's as simple as that. But we found somebody that had access to the place, that had like a relationship with the country manager. And then we said, okay, can you facilitate this trade for us? We are willing to give you so amount of dollar per metric ton. And that's it. You understand? Like, so sometimes it is impossible to do away with brokerage or brokerage fee or commission agents. Sometimes it's impossible. Even the big companies, the Olam, which is one of the biggest agro-commodity company in the world right now, they still use commission agents for their transactions, basically. So I don't think you can become so big that you will not need those numbers, those people.
Okay, interesting. This person says that, is your company strictly nuts and seeds, like you mentioned? You know, earlier you mentioned about nuts and oil seeds and their derivatives. He said the person is asking because he knows, or she, I don't know, okay, let's say he knows a big fish farm looking to diversify to exporting roasted or dry fish. So what that means is that since you are already in the UK, are you open to accepting that kind of goods and selling as well, or distributing?
Not right now. The Holy Spirit has not told us to do that business yet.
Okay. Like I tell you,
Yeah.
this guy, if he's not 100% sure that money is there, it's likely, oh, no, not even money is there. If he's not sure that a certain amount of money is there, that's the issue that I have with our cashew nuts. Well, let's go there now. How do you find or get these commissioning agents? I think we've addressed this commissioning agent earlier, right? And I think
Yes.
you also mentioned that you will share some contacts with us. So please, for those that are already in the group, or even via email. Okay, no, most likely.
Can you guys excuse me for 1 second, please?
Okay, sure. All right. So for those that are already in the group, there are some contacts and information that we're also going to collect based on the questions that have been asked in this session that we are going to send into the group. So if you are not in the group yet, that has already been sent to your email. I was told that some people did not get the email, or maybe, and I think it's because it went to their spam or something. If you can check your spam, if you haven't gone in, it should be there. The link to the group should be there. So this person says, how do you find? So those commissioning agents, like you said, first is for you. You can build them yourself. That's what they have said earlier, and it gave ways you can leverage to do that. And second thing is that you can also give 1 or 2 contacts that you can also reach out to as well and build relationship. But most importantly, that you have to build relationship with many of these people. How I join the group? I think we have put the, okay, no, I don't have. I think I put the group link here earlier. If Anu is still here, can you please help me put the group link back here for those who are bored? I'll probably share it as well. And then this person, Anthony is asking, how, for persons who have funds to invest, what profit percentage or interest can one earn? What will be the security for the invested funds? Okay, so oh, sorry, I think the one is out. Okay, still it calls. Okay, good. All right. So I would respond a little bit to that question first and foremost. And I think that's also an opportunity to quickly run through while the one is out, to run through how do you join the group. Anu, are you there? Okay, let me just quickly put that in the group. By the way, like I said, you can check your email, your spam.
Sorry, guys, I'm back now. Thank you.
Okay, great. You can
I'll
check
be
your
sending
spam.
the link now.
Okay, good. Thank you. Will the recording of the session be shared? Maybe not. Where normally our structure is that if we make the event free, the recording is as a form of let me use the word, as a form of punishment, especially to those who do not attend, is paid. But to be honest, we'll probably may just make it free and share with everybody. Really, it's most likely. So the link has been shared to the group. Someone asked this question. I wanted to address it from the Playtives angle. Of course, we have the partnership, but maybe you can also answer around their question around security and all of it. It says, for persons who have funds to invest, what profit percentage or interest can one earn? What will be the security for the invested fund? And I we have the profit options around either ownership, co-ownership, and then invest for a guaranteed profit that we're doing. So you can talk on it from that angle, and then the security for the invested funds.
Yeah, security for investment funds is, because obviously it's an entity that is a single individual that is, of course, is, so it depends on the size of the investment. Let's start from there. If you're saying the 10 million naira or something like that, I don't think that will require anything beyond just proof of the business, which is the trade, the profile of the business, maybe the management financial reports of course of the business, and a maybe personal guarantee from the business manager or a corporate guarantee from the business itself entity. Beyond all that, but when we're talking about funds, so for example, we've opened up a bit of a business for investors to come in to invest, but we have a peg for our investments, and I think our present one right now is $500,000. That's the minimum that we can take, basically. So right now we are not doing beyond that. We are not doing anything lower than that. But so if you say you have $500,000, for example, and then you want a bit of security, then we provide you physical assets as security. We provide you verifiable contracts. We provide you those form of security that we have available in our own list of securities, basically. So that's possible. But like I said, we can't provide landed assets for every investment. So the investment first has to be based.
Go on.
Okay, sorry, something distracted me. I was wondering what was that. So it has to be first based on the trust, like on the credibility of the business. That's number one, credibility of the business. We've taken investments, $1 million, $2 million investments without collateralizing those investments, because we didn't feel, because we've seen track record, we've seen all of those track record basically. So security depends on individual basis, so that can be discussed and that can be negotiated. I think that's the best way to answer that question. But we have a minimum that we can do. So of course, so we then give opportunity for Playtives to say they want to come in and collaborate and consolidate on a particular trade. And for us, if you're coming straight to us, we have a minimum.
Yeah.
That we can take.
So guys, I hope you understand what he's saying. Normally, you cannot actually even approach him to invest in his business or invest in a trade. Even Playtives, we are not even investing in his business, to be honest. What we're doing is a trade partnership. And what's a trade? They are supplying this organization. Do you understand? They already have a local purchase order from the organization. So let's say Dufil, for example, says, oh, I need 5,000 tons of palm oil or 5,000 tons of sesame seed or whatever it is. They have the LPO. So means that Dufil is ready to buy. Dufil just needs you to supply. So now, out of the 5,000 tons, Playtives is saying that, oh, we want for our partner, our members, to be able to say that maybe those that are able to afford it, if it is only 50 tons that we can do, if it is only 100 tons that we can do, we know that those tons still command significant return as well. And the more tons we can do, the more. So we are taking part of that LPO. They have the LPO. That's our own job at Playtives to verify, to know that what they have done. And also we have the partnership with them. Say, okay, this trade that you are doing, based on this, we have signed that, we have that agreement with them, and members of Playtives can say, okay, I want to take this amount of money based on what Playtives will share with you, for those that are looking to take the deal. So we are going to be sharing all of that with you. While we don't yet have any other question, I hope that answers your question. Who was that again? Anthony. So the guarantee that you need around investment is also the part for Playtives, where, okay, because you're actually leveraging Playtives, which Playtives is going in a partnership with them in that instance. So, and for those who are interested, I'm going to make an opportunity to also do like some kind of one-on-one, maybe if I'm able to make time around 10-15 minutes so that I can take one of your questions and then conclude in that instance as well. All right. Just before D1 leaves, guys, you can put one or two of your questions before he leaves. I want to quickly run through 3 ways that you can own a palm oil trade deal. Simple 3 ways. And that's what one of the things that Playtives is offering to our members. One of the very first ways you can have full ownership. Full ownership is simply, like I mentioned earlier, a truck of palm oil. Usually a truck can either be 30 tons or 50 tons, depending on the trade that is being done or depending on where we are buying from. That's where Agro-Commodity is buying from. It can either be bought from Nigeria or bought from outside Nigeria. Usually for most ones that is outside Nigeria, it's minimum of around 50 tons of truck usually for that. Now, so a 50 tons truck for current, the price may differ, by the way, by the time you're coming in, but it can range from, do you want to give us what the current ton price is right now, based on the last invoice? 1 ton, you are muted.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was muted. So presently the price from Okomu, which is Nigerian benchmark price, is 1,800,000.
1,800,000 for 1 ton, right?
Yes.
So 50 tons of that means that that is 90 million naira for a 50 tons truck. Okomu does, in Nigeria, you can do 30 tons. So 1,800,000 by 30. That's to own 1 full truck, that's like 54 million naira, for example. Do you get it? So you can say, I want to own that full truck. And what that means is that as you own that full truck, as that full truck carries the fuel or the oil, it supplies it, the earnings from that deal or from that trade goes to you. Again, because it's Playtives partnership, I try to say it because sometimes it doesn't look like, oh, why are you not doing it? Playtives as a platform earns just a commission from it. If you want to make big money, what we'll basically do for you is say, oh, we just guarantee a certain amount of profits so that all the other money comes to us. But like I said, our first goal with building Playtives, if you have seen some of the things I'm pushing online and some of the things I'm saying, that is our first goal. And I'm saying it again. I see a time where, especially for my immigrant community, we are going to own some of the biggest corporations in diaspora. Some of the, a football team, for example, like in Manchester United, it looks big that it's impossible. But I see a time where we are going to co-own it. It's going to come up as a deal, and we are all going to co-own it. That, for me, is a mission I'm on right now. It's the reason why I'm sharing all these things. Like I said, I tell people I'm shy. I don't like saying something. People that are bashing me online. Well, I prefer to do my thing and live my life. But it's on a mission. And on that mission, some of these things are regular. So, but before you go with those kind of big dreams, you start from the big, basic ones and easy ones that you can move on from there. Do you understand? So you can do a full ownership and then you can do co-ownership. Co-ownership simply means, okay, I don't have 54 million naira for that trade. If you're buying from Okomu, for example. However, I have 5 million naira. Usually for co-ownership, we have a minimum investment. Our minimum investment was 7.5 million naira. However, we are working around, we can limit that 5 million naira for co-ownership. So what that means is that as a person who put 5 million naira down for the trade, and then we buy the 54 million naira trade or tank or fuel. What it means is that based on your equity, you can calculate it. What's your equity? 5 million and 54. You know your equity. That's the profit that you make. And again, take note, is the profit with your money that you make. And what we do is that we can guarantee at least 1 cycle every month. At least Playtives is guaranteed at least 1 cycle every month. In some cases, we can do more than 1, but we are guaranteeing at least 1 cycle every month. So we buy, we distribute, and then you get your money in that instance. So co-ownership. And then there's the other option. Now, those who don't have up to 5 million and above, you can choose to say, okay, we are doing a, what's it called now? You can invest for a guaranteed profit. So what's the guaranteed profit? Guaranteed profit is between 2.5% and 3%. Now, to be honest, based on our normal system, is based on KEDA. If you bring a certain amount of money, you can get, if it goes, if you do up to 12 months, like you are locking the money for 12 months, you get the highest, which is 3% every month. So for example, you put in let's just use random example, let's say 10 million naira. 10 million naira, you are locking it for 12 months for a guaranteed profit. You can say, okay, what's 3% of 10 million naira? Mathematics people. 10% is 1 million, 3% should be 300,000 if I'm correct. I hope I'm correct. Yeah, so you get that every month. It comes to your account, except you choose to want to roll it over, add it back to your money. Other than that, it can come into your account that way. And at the end of 12 months, you get your full month. The investment doesn't have to be 12 months. It can be 3 months, it can be 6 months, it can be 9 months, and it can be 12 months. That's for guaranteed profits. Like I said, but for the ownership and co-ownership, you are taking the profits based on what you own. If you are the full, you own the full, or you co-own own that. As such, that's like this simple explanation of this cycle. So if you invest like 500,000, you get all of those stuff. Some of these will probably send them across to you. And the process, how it simply works is you choose your tier. You can either choose full ownership, you choose co-ownership, you choose guaranteed monthly profits based on the capital or your goals that you have. You transfer the funds to Playtives. Usually, you are going to sign right now. Let me explain this. Playtives is aiming to be if you know what Investify is and what the investment arm of Piggyverse is, that's what we are hoping to be, especially for the diaspora audience. But at the moment, we are going to do it in the brick and mortar system. So you are entering into a written agreement with Playtives, and based on the Playtives partnership with Idomit on this trade. This is the cycle of the trade. It's going to run for 30 days. It's going to run for 20 days. This is what the capital is for, to own one, full one, for the co-ownership that you're putting in, or if it's guaranteed profit. All of that is clearly stated, is documented. Then you transfer the funds to the Playtives account. You're not transferring the personal account to the company account. And then, of course, Playtives does the deals with Idomit, and then it goes on like that. Then, of course, we deploy the money. They take the money, they buy the stuff, supply. As the payment is paid, you get paid as well. And of course, for those that do the monthly, they get returns monthly. The same way, this co-ownership or whatever, it's usually still monthly as well. So except you are looking to, what's it called it now? What's the English? Like you are looking to return the money back to continue to trade every other month. So I think that's that. For those who are ready for this, please, I hope you have already joined the WhatsApp group. So what we'll do is that we are going to put a link in the WhatsApp group. No, I think we can put it here right now. How much can one make on one run, and what's the turnaround to get the profits? Do you want to answer that? I can't answer it, but I think it's better that you answer it. On one run of a 30-ton truck, how much can one make?
I think that's a question to answer, pretty much, because you're just discussing about the ownership scale.
Okay, are you open to buying the palm oil as well if the price is competitive, and do you have the credible commission agent to partner with?
Okay. Oh yes, I got the question, Ayo. I saw the question actually. Yes, we are open to buy. For as much as there's what we call we've not been able to talk about the quality of palm oil on this conversation. So there's what we call FFA. That's the benchmark for the quality of palm oil. We call it free fatty acid. So for as much as the quality is within or less than 5%, definitely we are willing to buy from anywhere. Can we recommend credible commission agents to partner with? Absolutely, yes. I think I already answered that question earlier, and I can share those numbers as well to Playtives team, and I'm sure they can pass it on to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can contact him, you can try to, but I'm telling you from personal experience, even though he's my guy, it can be hard to tie down. So, but you can reach out to him. But like I said, because you are part of Playtives, it's a lot. Most of the opportunities that you need, we are going to work with you to get them. Again, you don't have to do this Playtives deal like you would Playtives. So take this information and do them yourself. So even with that, we are still going to support you to do it. You don't understand? Like that's our goal. We are going to support you with information, with the things that we need for you to actually do that as well. So if you're part of the community, you can ask questions within the group, contact and stuff. We are going to put that out. Around a 30-ton truck. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Gabriel. I just some thought just came to my mind. I'm open to a mentorship section for 1 month. for maybe that's another thing you want to offer as part of the thing that the Playtives does, because I know that I think Onos really wants to have a one-on-one conversation. So I'm thinking beyond this web open house, if you can offer like an exclusive mentorship session, I'm happy to be part of that. I can people and I can do that
Absolutely. Thank you.
because I
Thank you
love
for
everybody in this house. I'm happy to do that.
Thank you for that. So what we'll do is for those that are looking to actually go into the business in itself, we are going to create a structured mentorship in partnership, and then we are going to put that announcement out, the timeline, the dates, how it's going to work. And we are going to work out the structure with the one in the best way that it works, so that it works with his timeline, works everybody's timeline. Maybe how many times we meet during the week and stuff, what the modules we are going to cover. Also, we are going to get, you guys need to be responsive, by the way, to get questions and things that you want us to address, so that we create that, and then we can take that from there. I think that's it. So how do we book the one-on-one? You are in the group. There is a link that you should already have, especially for those who want to invest. Can you still see my screen? Okay. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Let's come back. All right. So there's a link. The link we also will put in the group. This link, you can basically this form rather, you can is waiting admin approval. I'm not sure what that means. Abdullah Hafiz. So fill this form. Oh, I know. Please. All right. I think they're already responding to that. All right. So we've sent the link here right now where you can fill the form, and then to express your interest around this deal, the deal that you're interested in. If we knew about the mentorship, we would have added the mentorship there. But if there is a place where you can also add it that I'm interested in mentorship, put it in that form as well. Dion, you want to say something?
I have to run in 4 minutes. I just wanted to know.
Yeah. Okay. So, but just before D1 goes, D1, do you want to give like a final word? And then, guys, while he's giving his final word, can you do me a favor? Can you put thank you for the session in the comment section? At least let's appreciate him with that. We don't have billions to put in, but we can appreciate him. But D1, final word.
If you have the billions, I'll take it. But thank you so much. I've had, and I see that a few people on the call. When I joined the call, it was about 39 or so. And most people have stayed on the call from the beginning, and that's, for me, it showed that they are interested in this and they want to be part of this. This is why the least I could do is offer a bit of mentorship and expertise that I can have. I'm willing to do that as much as possible. But thank you for having me. Maybe one parting words is, the biggest way to create wealth is to start your own business. And that's the truth, basically. And I also want to maybe chip this in, is the goal always should not be about the money as well. Like I said, we also want to build something sustainable, a sustainable business. It's crazy to know that I think there's a data. I'm not sure that data is true. I'm not sure I'm quoting the data right now, but that there's no African business that's up to 50 years or 100 years. Or one of those places. Basically, if you check the history, I saw the data somewhere, I can't remember exactly. I'm like, is that possible? That no African company has built a legacy of over 100 years in business. That is remarkable. And for us, that's how to build wealth and how to build transgenerational wealth, basically. And this business, commodity business, if it's done right, is a platform to actually build wealth. And I just want to encourage anybody. Maybe you've had challenges, you've had something that happened in the past. There will be challenges in this field. I'll tell you for sure. For certain, in fact, one of the best, maybe another way to say it, one of the first imports that we did into the Nigerian market, it was a failure. But we did not stop. It was a failure because we bought the quality from somewhere. It was a terrible quality, and there was also, that was a period also where Buhari blocked the border, and then our trucks were stuck at the border for almost 9 months or so. Imagine millions of naira being stuck at the border for almost 9 months. You can imagine what kind of pressure it was, basically. So ultimately, know what you have, a strategy, know what you want to do, have a end goal in mind, and don't be discouraged. Try it again, and try it again, basically. And ultimately, the factor of God, like, is essential part of it. I know what I heard when I started this business was simple as well. It was simple information, and that was it basically. So don't take the factor of God, whatever it is you serve. Don't take the God factor out of this. And thank you, sir. Thank you, people, for having me. It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. I really appreciate this. Thank you for coming. It doesn't always do this, but I'm grateful.
UAC is not a Nigerian company, is it? It was an international company. Osundu. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll sidebar.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Iniobong, you raise your hand. Do you want to quickly ask a question? Or was that a mistake? Iniobong, you raised your hand. You have to unmute yourself to speak if you are speaking already.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just in the train right now, and I just lost the network. I just want to ask, can we get the recording of this?
Like I said, yeah, we'll make sure we'll work on you guys getting the recording. Yeah, we'll make it available.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining. Again, I really appreciate it. I think we can use them. All right. Oh, Inobong, you were still saying something. Were you still saying something?
No.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm done. Yeah, you said we were going to get the recording across to us, right?
Yes. So the link to the WhatsApp group is in the chat, guys, as well as the link to expression of interest in the deals, whichever deal that you're looking to do. Note that when you make that expression of interest, someone is going to reach out to you and try to book like a quick call with you to ensure that, okay, of course, answer any question you have, as well as get whatever you're looking to do, the deal you're looking to do, share the agreement with you. You're able to sign the agreement and then make payment, and then the deal can start as well. So right now we're going to be interfacing one-on-one right now for now until we put a proper structure where you don't necessarily have to see me to do it. And that's where we're going. You don't necessarily have to see me. You don't necessarily have to see any member of my team. You just know that, okay, what are the deals that are available on Playtives, and you can leverage them yourself. That's actually where we're going with some of these things. Most of the ones that we do, or I do with people individually, they are manual. We are doing it, like I said, a group of some of our friends, we are doing some stuff like this, already together. But the way I see it, and when I say something, I feel like I can't express it enough. There are opportunities that too many people are missing that we are not seeing. And sometimes some of those opportunities look like a lie. Like, they look like a lie. For example, when anyone was talking about how some people buy palm oil in January and then they sell at the end of the year. Now, if I write that as our education post, that's something I've not even written, because if you put them, it will look like this is not true. It can never happen. And most people will follow that bandwagon. So even right now, I'm always careful. I say I don't want to be adding numbers again, so that it doesn't look like you are trying to use it to get people to. But point is, all of us, take your time. There are opportunities out there you can deliberately begin to leverage and build things. How do we see clearly the various returns for the different categories, full ownership, co-ownership? Oh, I don't think we answered one question that somebody asked around what the returns are. Now, how do you see clearly? Basically, when we buy and supply an organization, and the organization pays, do you get it? So we are also going to, so as we buy now through Idomit, and Idomit pays us, these are like information you are going to see what Idomit paid us. So meaning that when we're buying a truck, let's say we bought the truck for 54, just an example, we don't know what the price is, but let's say the truck is 54 million. So we send 54 million naira to Idomit, right? Idomit does the trade and stuff. When Idomit pays us, you will see what Idomit pays us, because Idomit, okay, if there's and when Idomit pays us, we let you know that, like I said, it's going to be in the agreement what Playtives is taking and all of that. So you know that, this is what accrues to you. You know how many people are in the circle of that one trade. If it's co-ownership, if it's full ownership, all of those things are going to be known. And I also want us to be as public with it, both on the group and even in public. It's not, I don't want it to be something that is just being done in a private, to be as vocal or to be with some of these things as much as well. please reshare the interest link in the WhatsApp group. I got logged out. Yeah, the interest link will be shared in the WhatsApp group as well after this call. So how do we? So I hope that answers your question, Diamond. It will help us to make the right choice, which option to go with. Yes. So you will see that when that happens. But in anticipation, usually, if we do one trade in a month, in some cases it may be more than one trade. But what we have played, because when it comes for me, I'm always very careful when it comes to people's money and my name. So what I have guaranteed, we have worked to guarantee is at least one trade. It's possible that it's more than one trade in many instances. Sorry, there's some of the wires, something just happened and then something just fell. But I'll deal with that afterwards. So it's possible that we can do more than one trade in a month. However, what Playtives has guaranteed is at least one trade in a month. Now, if you do more than one trade, like 2 trades, good. I mean, that's a big opportunity for you to make more money. But if it's one trade that you make, it's still a lot of money. So what often happens is, let's say, for example, you can do the mental calculation. Let's say, for example, you mentioned earlier that 1 ton is 1.8 million naira. We are buying 30 tons. That's for one trailer. You can do 60 tons, or like buy 2-3 trailers and stuff. But let's say we're just doing one trailer of 30 tons. Now, when you're selling, usually apart from maybe transportation or 15 naira, 100 naira, that's like how you calculate it. And then what's that other money? Apart from transportation, there's 1 or 2 other things. All of this will be cleared for you guys, by the way. Now, if you add it together, maybe the total money that you are going to have or spend on that trade may be up to 2 million naira. Then when you are selling to the organization, you sell to the organization at 2.1 million naira. Then you take the 100, it's breaking down exactly how it is for you guys. So it's not like there's no hidden thing. So you take the 100,000 naira, multiply by 30 tons that you have. So if you have 100 tons, it's the same way. If you have 500 tons, so you now multiply. So if 100,000 multiplied by 30 tons, that's probably, is that 3 million, if I'm correct? Please confirm. That's probably 3 million. So on that trade, that's like a possible, what's it called now? Profit on that one single trade. So if you're not able to do 2 trades in a month, you see what it can be like. But what we have guaranteed is that minimum of that one trade on that, and that's instantly. So okay, you know that this is your money, this is the profit, you make it, and then it goes. Now the option, if you're not owning or co-owning, you can just focus on the investing for a guaranteed profit, which is, if it's less than 12 months, is 2 to 2.5%. If it is 12 months that you're tying money for, then it is at least 3% in that regard. So I hope that's clear. We'll take all the other questions one-on-one. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much. I hope that answers your question, Diamond. I hope that answers your question. Can we invest in pounds and earn return in pounds? Now, I would say that the best we can do right now, because the trade cycles that we are investing in, it's in naira. If you get what I mean, we are buying we are buying it in dollars though, but it's naira. The company that you are supplying to, they are Naija based. So even if you have 5,000 pounds, my recommendation for you is to change it to naira and then invest it. Based on the profit that you are making, you are still going to cover those currency, what do you call it now? Currency issue that is likely going to happen. And my recommendation is that you continue to keep it in naira for a while. You know, that now, please don't take it as a professional recommendation or someone, but I would prefer that, or maybe it's something that I know, I don't want to say how you do it, but it's what you use the naira to trade a lot. You trade a lot, you are making money, and then when you need 1,000 pounds, you just change the equivalent of that in naira to 1,000 pounds. You continue with your life. When you need 2,000 pounds, you change the equivalent, but you have money to make money because what should be more important is, where is going to make me money, or what is going to make me money? Is it going to be in naira? Is it going to be in pounds? Just like right now, there are stocks in Nigeria, Nigerian stocks that are doing so well. No stocks in the UK and the US is doing as well as certain Nigerian stocks. It's foolish for you to be investing in just those UK and US stocks when there are stocks that are doing 50% return. Do you understand? So it's the same way. So if you keep your money just in pounds, just be my brother, we are not doing ourselves a good service. So my recommendation is that. However, when we do those deals where you can buy what's it called now, invest in like a container that's coming to the UK and stuff, we can decide to leverage those ones in pounds, especially because they are coming into the UK. Say, okay, it's going to be bought in pounds, it's going to be sold in pounds. Can we get paid in pounds? So we can do those ones. But right now, the current deal that is available, and this one will be available for a long time, is the Nigerian one. We are working on all the other ones. Like I said, I mentioned on this call before that we are working on with the filmmaker. That one will probably be Nigerian based. It's going to be Naira based because we are going to invest in Naira into the film. A popular filmmaker. Those are like options that's going to come up as a part of this. But I hope that answers your question, Azan. All right, guys. Has this been helpful, everybody? Has this been helpful? I want to believe so. Thank you so much, Akman. Thank you, everybody. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for staying true. And I really want to appreciate everybody because, like I said, we had almost 250 people register for this event. I think barely 50 people joined. That's what happens sometimes. And I think for some people, they could not get. I heard some emails went to spam. Some are not getting some information. It is what it is. Well, thank you for joining. Let's have an amazing day. We would pass all the other information into the WhatsApp group. And if you are here, you are not yet in the WhatsApp group, check your email, check your spam. I'm sure that the link is somewhere there. Or just send me a message on any of my social media platform. Someone will respond to you, whether as Playtives or personal, you'll get a response and we'll take it from there. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Let's have a beautiful day. Bye.